I come to you today from my living room floor. I went on kind of a teacher shopping spree this past weekend, and I wanted to kind of share with you some of the things that I got for my classroom. Now, again, I'm teaching math, social studies, and writing for 5th grade next year. It's my first time in a departmentalized classroom. So naturally, the first thing that I did was start watching a bunch of YouTube videos from teachers who are in departmentalized classrooms already. Pocketful Primary is one of my favorites. So I got a lot of my Dollar Tree haul from stuff that she's done before. Now remember, I haven't been in my classroom yet. I have no idea what my curriculum looks like. So I'm kind of just buying some general things right now that I know I'm going to need. So I wanted to go through those with you because there were some really good finds. The first place that I went to was Lakeshore Learning. And if you don't have a Lakeshore in your state, then I'm sure there's some other like equal learning store that is available, but they have a bunch of teacher supplies. So I decided what my theme was going to be for my classroom this year, and my theme is going to be succulents and cactus. So I'm going to be doing lots of different shades of green and then bringing in some pinks and purples and like colors of a sunset. It's Arizona, cactus work, and we have plenty of material to work with here. But I'm mixing it with kind of like a farmhouse vibe. My home is farmhouse, and it's cozy and it's comfortable and homey, and I think it creates a really cool learning environment for students because it feels so homey and cozy. So I'm going to show you some of the things that I did get from Lakeshore. Now, one of the cool things about Lakeshore is that you can purchase like posters or name tags or whatever, and you can just laminate them in the store. I'm not sure yet if my school has a laminator that I'd have access to, so I went ahead and just laminated everything. It was pretty cheap for the most part. So one of the first things that I got was, and my lamination is in like a huge roll, and you might have to bear with me, and I'm going to wake my little one up, but we're going to try not to. So one of the first things that I got was a chart, and I get these charts. I'm going to have 2 blocks of students, so I'm not quite sure how I'm going to use this chart, but every single year that I taught, I've used a chart like this. Sometimes I use it for missing work, sometimes I use it for something, mostly I've used it for missing work, homework, things like that. But I think this year what I'm going to use it for is fact fluency and keeping track of what fact family my students are on. So I'm not quite sure how I'm going to use this yet, but I loved that it was cactus themed because it kind of goes along with what I'm teaching. And of course I have so much cutting to do when it comes to my lamination. So then I got a pack. I also got the parts of speech poster because sometimes I even need help remembering the difference between verbs and adverbs and all of that. I did get a calendar. I'm not sure if you can see this. Like I said, it's on a big roll. I haven't cut it yet. So I did get a calendar along with my cactus theme. It's spots and stripes as well. So the calendar came with all the months. Let me see if I can show you. The calendar came with all the months, a bunch of numbers with little succulents. I love these little succulent graphics. Came with this little thing. I think that this is more for like little kids. It was like days of the week and what the weather's like and things like that. So I'm probably not going to use that because I'm teaching 5th grade, but it's there, and I laminated it anyway because who knows, maybe I'll end up using it. I also got, they had this pack there of posters that were kind of just random farmhouse themed like words and lettering. So then the next thing that I got, which I find so extremely important in education today, is I got cursive lettering, and they had it in this cool farmhouse like corrugated metal theme, which was but cursive writing is something that is kind of controversial in classrooms. Like, we don't need it anymore. I find huge value in it, not just for the fact that they can write a signature, they can read their grandma's handwriting, things like that, but also because it helps with penmanship. It also helps with like fine motor skills, which I find very helpful as well at any grade level. I also purchased this classroom jobs because it was farmhouse themed and it came with these really cute like corrugated metal looking name tags, but I'm not sure I'm going to use it. I have 2 blocks of students and I'm not sure. These were already pre-made and I wish they were blank because I would have liked to have filled out my own classroom jobs. So I might just keep this shape and then put something over the top of them that have my own classroom jobs on it. But I liked the theme, so I wanted to make sure that I did get it. Every year I get a big piece of paper. It's lined paper. It looks exactly like what students use. And I fill it out the way that I want my students to turn in work every year. So I put the name in the corner, the period number, the date, things like that, the name of the assignment, number, whatever, just so that every time they have an expectation and they can look at kind of like an anchor chart of what I want their work to look like. Again, here's some more of those like random farmhousey things. I really like that. So that's the first roll of lamination. I had help with my lamination, so there are a couple different bags. Sorry if I keep looking over this way. My baby is sleeping, and so I'm trying to keep an eye on her every time I make noise with lamination. So my next bag from Lakeshore, I got some examples of primary resources for social studies, 5th grade social studies. What I really loved about these primary resources is 1, that I didn't have to laminate them, but 2, they all come with magnets on the back. So I didn't have to laminate them and they can just stick to my whiteboard or I can staple them to the wall. But it came with 8 different posters. I've got like the Declaration of Independence, the Emancipation Proclamation, a bunch of other stuff. So this is really cool to have, and it's really nice just to display on your wall. And it doesn't match my farmhouse theme, but it is that kind of color, that antique looking color. So these are great, and I will reference them a lot. Things that you can never have enough of, although I wish I had not bought them at Lakeshore because I realized that I can get them for much cheaper other places, were these dot magnets. They're not that great, and I'm remembering that now because I used to buy them when I was teaching a few years ago. They're not very strong, so I recommend just going to like a Home Depot and buying them. I'm not sure why I made this purchase. I think it was just an impulse buy. And then I love these Velcro squares. I use these for my classroom jobs. I use them for anything that I'm just going to need to take all the time. Baby's awake. The last thing that I got in this bag was my teacher lesson plan book. I don't spend $70 on an Erin Condren teacher planner. I used to my first couple of years, but I realized that I like paper lesson plan books and then I transfer them to a Google Drive lesson planner and I print them out and put them in a binder. Hashtag mom life. Baby woke up and she's hungry. Just random side note while I'm in the middle of this shopping haul, I do pump and use breast milk. My supply's been running a little low. She's feeling a little sick. She's got an ear infection and a cold. So we're feeding her out of a bottle, but it is breast milk. Oh, you so sniffly. So my last bag from Lakeshore is pretty simple and straightforward. I've got some nameplates. I am not going to be putting names on these. Instead of names, I'm going to be putting like a table group name. So since I have a cactus theme this year in my classroom, I'm going to do like a saguaro table and a barrel cactus table and things like that. So I'm just going to put that name on the name line because I have different students that are going to be sharing that desk. So I picked this nameplate for my grade level because it has the cursive letters across the top, it has place value, it has fractions, and it has a multiplication chart. Now, I know that multiplication charts are sometimes like controversial, especially if you're teaching fact fluency, because the students can cheat, but I always tell the students it takes more time for you to cheat than it does for you to just try and guess the answer or skip the question. So students that cheat never end up passing that fraction or that multiplication table anyway, so I don't really care. And one of my kind of like staples in my classroom is the presidents. Every year I have my dad put them up in my classroom and he like perfectly spaces them apart, but it's kind of like my thing. And when I told my family that I was going back to teaching, they're like, oh great, we have to do the presidents again. But the kids love it. So that is it for my Lakeshore haul. On to my Dollar Tree haul, again, while I feed my baby. A lot of the things that I got from the Dollar Tree, I stole the ideas from Pocketful of Primary from Michelle, so don't come for me. So the dollar store right now has some super cute floppy folders. Love these ice cream cones, so I did get a couple of these. I got them because one, I like to keep my standards in a binder, and why not a cute one? So I'm going to use my Cricut and print out a little thing that says standards so that I always have those handy, especially for lesson planning. I can quick grab them. And then I did get another one. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to put in this one, but it's there and I have it. So I got that as well. The dollar store also had these really freaking cute composition books. I always have a composition book for that I take to every single meeting, whether it's an IEP meeting, a 504 meeting, if it's just an after-school meeting, a parent meeting, anything. I use the same composition notebook all year. I put sticky notes in here, but that way it's all just in one spot, and if I ever need to reference it, I can just put it in here. So they have a really cute one that matched my theme. I got a little sunset theme going, and I'm just going to use that for my PD notes. Next, I'm really excited about this. So you guys have probably seen these. They're the reusable dry erase pockets. Now at Lakeshore Learning, they had a package of these. I can't remember how many were in them. I think it was like 30, and it was $60, and I don't have that kind of money, so I did not get them. I went on, I think Amazon had a decent price, but it was still more than I wanted to spend, and then I found them at the dollar store. So I ended up getting like 30 of them for 30 bucks, which was like half the price of Lakeshore. So if you want these, I mean, I cleared out their shelf, so I bought a bunch of them, and they're different colors, so I figure the different groups can all have different colors. But I'll be honest with you too, I let the students write on their desks because desks are like dry erase boards. They erase just fine. So, but these are nice if you're going to have a small group and they're not technically at their desk. Another thing that I got from the dollar store is dice. I use dice a lot and in a lot of different math games. Now, one of my mistakes that I've made is I've had all the dice in a bucket, and every time that we wanted to do a game or anything like that, they would have to go and like find dice, and I always ended up losing 2 or 3 in the process. So one of Michelle's ideas from Pocketful Primary was to get these little containers, and there's 10 to a package, so I got a few of them, and you put the dice in there and they never have to take it out. They can roll it right inside the package, kind of like a boggle game, and you never have to section out your dice, and you never lose dice because you know in every package there's 2, and it's awesome to keep track of. So I got these little tubs, and then I also got the dice there as well. I also always have a big pair of foam dice. A lot of times we do simulations where they have to roll a number, and that determines their next destination or their next path or their next choice. I'll go over that at some point in the school year, but I always keep a pair of foam dice. Again, got them at the dollar store. They had the cutest buckets at the dollar store. This time that I went, it had like this burlap twine around it, and I thought how great for pencils or rulers, or I could find a use for this. Not sure what it is yet, but I'm gonna find a use. I also got playing cards here. I know I'm gonna have about 35 students this year, so I ended up getting like 16 or 17 packs so that they could play in twos. And to go along with the cards, I ended up getting these little containers, 2 for $1, and the pack of cards fits right in there. That was another pocket full of primary hack that I stole, but they go right in there, and then it's easy storage, and they know all of their cards should be in there. I was thinking about numbering my cards as well, just so that I knew, like, if you took set 1, then all the cards should say, oh, have a 1 on them or something like that, but I haven't done that yet. We'll see. They also have these cute just metal buckets. I got 2 of them. Again, not sure what I'm going to use them for, but they were really cute and I couldn't pass them up. Let's see, the rest of these are all my cards that I got. Are you almost done eating, Princess? What did I get these for? I got some pencil boxes. I'm trying to remember what I got these for. Ooh, I know. So I did get a few of these. So just normal pencil boxes. And I got them because the dollar store had these foam cubes, and there are 50 in a pack, and I thought math manipulatives are so expensive, and so I bought 500 of these. Remember, there's 50 in a pack, so I thought if I gave 100 to 5 different groups, we could do a lot of things with these cubes. We can do all sorts of things math related with those. So I bought the pencil holders to hold 100 of the little foam cubes each. And then of course here's my 500 foam cubes. So another thing that I got from the dollar store are timers. They have obviously really cheap timers. I got like 18 of them. So I implement Rocket Math in my classroom for fact fluency. It is an amazing program. I would recommend it to anybody. It is a little pricey, but it is worth every single penny. So I get a timer for each group. I bought these containers from the dollar store as well, and those are gonna hold my timers. I usually just put the box out on a desk and the kids know when it's time for Rocket Math, they just go and grab a timer. So I did get a ton of timers. They're super nice. I will tell you that the batteries in them, that come in them, they're still working from 4 years ago, so, and we use them every day, so I'm not too worried about the timers going out. So the second to last thing that I got at the dollar store are these baking sheets. They're pretty small, but what I do in my classroom, one of my classroom management strategies is something called a brownie pan. And I'll show you once I print out my brownies what it looks like, but I print out these little brownies 4 across, and I put magnets on the back, which I'll use those little dot magnets for that I got from Lakeshore. And anytime that the class as a whole gets a compliment, whether it's in the hallway or it's from a sub or a specials teacher, they get a brownie. So I got 2 pans because I have 2 blocks, 2 classes. And once they fill up the brownie pan, we do a class reward, which sometime later in the year, I'll actually go through this process and show you how it works. It is my favorite classroom management strategy for a whole group. Other than that, I do student versus teacher, which I'll have to go over eventually as well. And so I get the the cookie sheets from the dollar store, and then I just screw them into my wall. And then the last thing that I got was just kind of a decorative item. It's close, well, kind of close to 4th of July, it's June, but they have these really cute America and USA glitter signs, which, come on, I can't pass up glitter. And my favorite part about 5th grade social studies is the American Revolution. So I got these. I thought they'd be a cute little addition to my classroom and get the kids excited about social studies. One last thing that I forgot to go over when I did the Lakeshore portion was my borders. So I did get borders from Lakeshore. I like to get some that have patterns, and then I get some that are plain. So I got a striped one, I got a spotted one, I got kind of a sunset rainbow looking one, I got plain purple, and plain kind of like a succulent teal. So those are kind of my borders that I'm going to use for my boards, my bulletin boards. And then for my bulletin boards, I got a spool, a roll of the natural looking wood, and then a teal. So we're going to see how it all comes together. Like I said, I haven't seen my classroom yet. I will be getting into my classroom next week for the first time, which I'll take you guys along with, and that way I can start planning out what kind of furniture I need to get, and things like that. But for now, that was my dollar store and Lakeshore haul.